What up, fam? What's going on, man? Finally, we made it. We wait for some of the fam to trickle into the live stream. I know we about an hour late, man. YouTube sucks, man. When it comes down to certain things, it's a great platform, but it still has a lot of bugs to work out. But we finally was able to get on here, man. Who that? Daquan, what's happening, my man? I apologize for our lateness, man. We had really bad technical issues this morning, or this afternoon, rather. And we just couldn't, for whatever reason, get YouTube online, man. I don't know what the heck happened. Up until like a minute ago, it just would not work. But you know what? But that's why we have other alternate platforms as well that we're going to hip you guys to as well. We have audio platform called Spreaker, which if this it happens again, we'll make sure we get you the link so you guys can kind of follow us on Spreaker. It's not the same with audio, more audio platform than it is a visual platform, and that's why YouTube is so popular. But I apologize for the lateness. Like I said, we had real bad technical issues with YouTube this afternoon. Forced us to be really late. It sucks, man. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Been having problems last week. We had problems with Facebook last week. Prior to that, it was another platform, and YouTube actually a couple of weeks ago was giving us similar issues. But this morning, man, YouTube was really, really, really bad. I don't know what the heck was going on with it this morning. But anyway, we're in the building. Like I said, I apologize for you guys for our lateness because of technical issues dealing with YouTube. But we're in the building with the sports coma. And I like to say, what's up? What's up, Sean? What's happening, Adrian? Number one fan in the building. Appreciate you. I already said what's happening to my people. Daquan, everybody else that's making their way in the chat, please hit the chat up. Let me know where y'all guys are chatting from. And your boy will shout you out. But this episode, man, of the Sports Coma, before we get started, I'm gonna let the fam kind of trickle in. But man, I tell you what, man, we got a few things to talk about dealing with the black and gold on this fantastic Saturday afternoon. Crazy, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff going on with black and gold. But not last week's show, y'all guys remember what's happening. Phase Way is in the building. Who that? It's almost training camp, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, man. We almost here, man. I tell you what, it's getting ever, ever closer and closer and closer, man, to where the big time starts. You get me? But do me a service, fam, as y'all trickling in. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, hit the bell for notifications as we're starting to get things, you know, done here in the building. So, I mean, it's interesting, man. Like I said, last week's show, we talked about we talked about a few things in last week's show. We talked about Carl Granderson. We went over that, but this show we're gonna talk about some other topics that we covered in the previous shows, not so much, but updating them pretty much. Now, uh, my customary traditional start, I like to say, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the sports coma with Big Q and the guys, and we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, and the Sports Coma Live number 8. This is live stream number 8, family, episode number 389, as we deliver all the latest rumblings, news, notes, and items on our beloved New Orleans Saints. So, without further ado, fam, as the rest of our fam started to trickle into the live stream, what's happening, Carlito? I ain't seen you on that, baby. Carlito, who that to you, my friend? Almost time you saw us, bro. Yeah, I was. That's something we're gonna cover on the show today, Carlito. We're gonna cover that. We're gonna talk about of course, the Sproles news that came out. We're going to talk about a few other Saints that ultimately took different directions. We're going to talk about a few of the personnel moves that the Saints made. the lawsuit that was kicked off by a really good Saints fan that was really intelligent Saints fan kicked off the lawsuit. I'm gonna give y'all some information upon that lawsuit and showing that the rotten garbage trash NFL can't get around this one. And it's gonna be really interesting, man, because maybe some, it Roger Goodell is y'all know my stance on Roger Goodell. You know, Roger Goodell to me is the epitome of I don't want to be negative, but he's a joke. Let's just say that. I would say he's a clown, but that'll be an insult to all professional clowns across the world. Okay, that's how bad it is. I'm not gonna call him a clown because that would be an insult to all professional clowns, both in, in the country and the rest of the world. So I mean, he's just absolutely just. I mean, the fans hate him. He gets booed every time he gets up there. He makes some of these horrendous decisions. He's absolutely, I ain't gonna call him stupid because he's not stupid. I mean, he's shrewd. He's a snake, pretty much what he is. I'm not gonna say he doesn't know what he's doing, but I know he has biases. Obviously, you can't be this inconsistent and this coherent unless you have biases. I refuse to chalk it up to anything else. For a man making $20 million a season, over $20 million a year, being the commissioner of a league, a sports league. But anyway, we're gonna talk about that judgment, man, and what it means, man, to the Saints and the NFL, man. This is pretty big. We'll also talk about on the eve of upcoming training camp, 5 players. Now, just coming from WWL TV, they put out a article, 5 Saints to keep an eye out. And I want to see what you guys think about that. If you think about that, what you think about some of the guys that we talked about. Now, we talked about guys you need to keep a note on. We talked about that. A few guys you need to keep an eye out on. Let's see if you guys like who they talking about. Of course, Kurt Coleman, the ineffective veteran safety that was with us for a couple seasons, found a new home. I'm gonna just give you a little briefing on that as well. And you know what, man? Let me tell you something. I don't. Did y'all hear this? Did you hear the one? And I know this might sound like a joke to some people, but did you hear the one about Cameron Moore? Huh? Did you hear the one about Cameron Moore family? Cameron Moore and what the hell he did, you know. I mean, with his girlfriend. I'm gonna cover it because to me it's Saints news because this guy used to be he was drafted by the Saints a couple seasons ago. The Saints released him. Him and the other safety who come from Nebraska, who's actually a pretty decent kick returner. Man, he in trouble. This dude had an incident, and I'm like I be trying to tell. I be trying to tell my family. I keeps it real around this joint. I attempts to keep it real. You know, I mean Cameron Moore. We're gonna give you a little information on that as well. But good grief, you have some of these NFL players out here, and some of these NFL players, to be quite honest with you, we know about all this. Come on, fam. That's why the sports coma is so popular because we don't act like them network guys. When all that stuff happened with the Saints last year in the NFC Championship game, they talked about the penalty. Remember what happened in the Dallas game? The guy behind Sean Payton with a camera phone recording his stuff. Y'all remember that? They ain't say nothing about that. They didn't mention that. They stay away from it. If it ain't, if it ain't in the agenda of the league, they're gonna say, "Oh no, we don't want to do that. We ain't gonna talk about that. The league might get mad at us." Man, damn the league. We're gonna talk about it all, man. That's our Saints, but at the same time, if it's rotten and underhanded, we're gonna cover it. Just like we would cover it if it's positive. But the reality, a lot of times, these are young guys with a lot of money, thinking they can do away with a lot of stuff. And at times, and the additive to it as well is a little road raging going. Not a road raging, but these are professional athletes who train and work. They work out for a living. They basically lift weights and run for a living. So, and they'll lie if they tell you the majority of them don't take PEDs. Now, I've said this before. You can feel free to do some research on it. That all PEDs are not illegal. There's a list, and if the ones you're taking is on the list, then you can get in trouble. But there are ones that are not on the list yet. I've covered this before, and you would be remiss in your mind to not understand that that type of stuff happens in the NFL. Just because we watching a sport don't mean that it's devoid of life and about real circumstances that's going on, man. Come on. Come on. These are still people. And at the end of the day, a lot of people are going to do whatever they can do to get a competitive advantage because they're getting paid hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. And if the sucker across from you who you playing against is on them, you're gonna be like, oh man, I gotta do something too to make me a little stronger, a little faster, a little what have you. That's the mindset, but we'll talk about it, man. We're gonna cover this thing with him. And also feel free to hit the chat up family with questions, comments, concerns, and of course the live chat will be on fire today. And we also have a call in as well, family. So feel free to come in. We got more of our family chiming in. They're coming into the live stream. Hey, Cheryl, how you doing? Good afternoon to you, Cheryl. Welcome. Good to see you here. And like I said, family, y'all remember that I'm gonna give out the number momentarily for the live call-ins, and you can feel free to call in as well. So without further ado, let's get on into this good old-fashioned Saint talk we're gonna talk about. We're gonna start this thing off. We're gonna talk about some of the moves the Saints did, a couple of roster moves that they did, adding some personnel. Now, might give you an inkling about Carl Granderson. Now, remember we had this thing about Carl Granderson last show, and we had people. And the reason I went on my Carl Granderson spiel is in the sensitive Saints fan thing. Was because I was talking to a guy on social media, and the guy he was in his feelings about Granderson, saying, oh, well, it ain't nothing. Granderson wasn't nothing. He wasn't gonna make the team. So I try to tell him, look, dude, that's not true. The Saints are high on Carl Granderson. They like Carl Granderson a lot. And I gave him the reasons that I gave you. And he was like, oh, so I said, sensitive Saints fan, because you can't you're too up here with it. You're too sensitive here. You got to come on down here, start using this here thing here and see what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to take you somewhere. Come on and follow me. Come on and listen to me. Just take it in. Now, I understand you feel sensitive about your team at times. And sometimes the last couple of years, man, we've been chided, man. We've been really screwed these last couple of years. So I can understand that to a degree. But when it gets to the point where you can't, everything becomes somewhat of a chide, then you got issues that play. Carl Granderson, we ain't talking about some bum at the bottom of the depth chart. We talking about Granderson was slated as the third guy. And that's why I was hitting them with the sensitive Saints fan thing. And they were like one sensitive Saints fan after another on that social media thing. And I'm like, man, you know what? Nah, y'all got to get it together here, man. That's not what it's all about. But anyway, on this Carl Granderson thing, family, the Saints made two opening roster moves a day or so ago. Now, of course, we know Carl Granderson, who's sentenced to serve 6 months in jail on July the 11th. He was designated as a reserve, did not report to list to report. Of course, he ain't gonna be reported. He in jail. But the Saints have not yet released him from his contract, as the Wyoming judge sentenced him on charge of sexual battery and unlawful conduct. Now, Granderson initially agreed to a plea deal, but the judge threw it out and immediately handed out that 6-month sentence. Now, what's curious is the Saints didn't release Granderson after the verdict. They didn't comment on it. They said early this summer that they were comfortable with having him. They knew this might be an effect with his off-field issues, and they be in moving him from you thinking in today's NFL, you would think if a guy pled guilty to something and then he went to jail, the judge said, you know what, I don't believe you. I believe them. You go to jail for sexual battery and unlawful contact with two females that you didn't stand a chance in hell of making the NFL roster. Not right away anyway. Now, taking back about it, maybe a year or so later, when the smoke kind of died down, you say, well, let's give them a chance, maybe then. But the Saints are not, man. The Saints saying, we're gonna keep you, man. It appears now, initially they could change, but as it stands right now, The Saints, they put him on the list. They didn't release Granderson. They didn't release him. Now I was saying he might not be on the team because that's something you don't play with. It ain't like he stole a car or smoked a little weed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is real big stuff here. This is kind of stuff that break out people to like, we don't want this guy on this damn team. But it's strange, man. It's strange things continue to happen because now, as you see, they look like they're gonna wait the 6 months for him to get out of prison and give him another shot down the road. That's obvious. You know, I mean, how long has it been since we did the show last week on it? Does it take you a week to decide whether or not you're gonna release Carl Granderson for sexual misconduct? But he's in jail. I mean, I'm not laughing at the charge. You see what I'm saying? When I'm kind of, what's going on here? Are we really gonna do this? Are you really gonna kind of take that? I mean, why wasn't Carl Granderson cut? I mean, that's crazy to me. The man pleaded guilty. He pleaded no contest. Any plea that's not "I'm innocent" is going to be looked upon as an admission of guilt. Come on. In a court of public opinion, if you and I said, okay, to another partner or person, what have you, we said, listen, I ain't do it. I'm innocent. You ain't going to say, okay, I plead no contest. Somebody walk up in the kitchen and say, hey, man, did you eat them cookies over there in that cookie jar? Hey, man, no contest. What? Did you drink the rest of that? Hey, say, did y'all drink the rest of that beer in the refrigerator I had sitting up in there? Did y'all drink them couple of beers? Hey, no contest. Just imagine that. Imagine if you had people that you had some, hey, man, you remember that shirt I had, that Saint shirt I had with the Florida Leafs all over it? Did y'all take that? Did you take my shirt? Did y'all watch it? No contest. I mean, come on, man. I plead no contest. It sounds strange in real life. If you was to use that in real life, it sounds strange. And it sounds like I'm guilty. I'm saying, listen, man, I ain't do it. I don't know who did it. I didn't do it. I didn't touch the girl and make her cry. Okay? I didn't do it. But he says, oh, no, no contest. Did you touch the girl, make him cry, Carl? No contest. No, man. No. And that's crazy to me because the Saints still haven't released them. So I mean, they're gonna play this game, man. This is gonna be a very unique summer, man. I tell you what, that they keeping Carl Granderson, man. That surprised me, fam. I'm not gonna lie to you. Today's NFL, with everything going on, you got people beating people with belts. You got people threatening their own children and threatening harm to the mothers and on tape, and they getting away with it. You got people pushing other people down in Dallas and get away with it. You got guys ordering weed in the mail. You got all kind of stuff going on today's NFL. You got guys sentenced with PED. You just got Ben Watson got a 4-game suspension some time ago, and Ben Watson is a stand-up dude. He got the reputation of a stand-up guy, but Ben is on that. Do you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm talking about? Ben, the stand-up guy, got a 4-game ban or suspension because of performance enhancing stuff. What about your boy Mark? What Mark got 4 games? Mark Ingram got 4 games last year with New Orleans for. What was he doing? Huh? Come on. I'm telling y'all. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic down the Carl Grant. We're gonna approach that back again sooner or later, family. Y'all feel free to comment on that. If you're just reaching the show, y'all, we're talking about we're covering a few items that passed. Also, feel free to hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Hit the notification bell for future content as it's cranking up, fam. If y'all haven't hit that bell, it's going to start cranking up and we're going to be doing audio podcasts. We're going to be blasting out. It's Saints time again. Yes. But what's up, Donovan? Donovan said, I was surprised he wasn't cut. Me and you both, bro. I'm looking like Ryan Clark up here. I'm looking like Ryan. My eyes bugged. I can't even get him that wide open. I got to get him. Ryan Clark, he wake up like that. I got to be like, you know what? Let me wake up here. And I got to stretch my eyes out. Ryan Clark wake up like this? Hey, y'all, what's going on? Just do him like the Three Stooges. Just poke him in them. You want to talk about the Saints? Drew Brees walk up to him one day and say, "Hey, Ryan, what's happening, man? What's going on, man?" I'm go boop like Three Stooges. Poke out them big old eyes. Boop, chump. Anyway, family, yeah, it's very awesome about the Carl Granderson thing. What's up, Jay Scott Bryant? Not what happened. A judge rejected the plea deal that would have given probation at last minute. So he didn't plead. Did he plead no contest, right? And some people say that's the same as a innocent plea. Not the case. If you're innocent, you're innocent. That's the plea. But he pleaded no contest to lesser charges because he thought he was going to get off. That was the advice that his lawyer gave to him. You can research that. That's on ESPN. We covered the last show. But thank you for the information, though, friend. All right, y'all. Let's move into the next conversation here. We're going to talk about Emmanuel. The other move the Saints made on the roster involved wide receiver Emmanuel Butler, who was designated to the non-football injury list. So Emmanuel Butler, man, he was a long shot to make the team, but boy, what a productive guy this man is out of Northern Arizona. Racked up back-to-back 1,000-yard receivings for Northern Arizona, but he had a shoulder injury last year that kind of cut his season down. And he was looking good to go in at the camp. They had a lot of people was excited to see what Emmanuel Butler could do, but he had a shoulder issue that flared up. And what's happening with him is not known. So, in terms of the injury, so we don't know exactly what's going on here, but he was placed on a non-football injury list. So it's two moves. Carl Granderson is still on the team. They didn't cut him, and of course, Emmanuel Butler's non-injury designation. So those are two small moves, but I'm glad that's only the two of the small moves. Uh, you know, anything bigger. I wonder what's going on with Warford, and we still looking up that information with Larry Warford. Although there's no information saying that he will be in camp, but he's been dealing with some injuries, and they've been really kind of closed mouthed on what's going on with Larry Warford. Hopefully, it's nothing drastic with Larry Warford. Anyway, let's get into our next round of news, family. We'll talk about this Darren Sproles. Now, remember, we talked about the Darren Sproles thing as a possibility, and that we covered the last show and the prior show and the show after that, before that, that ultimately what would happen with Darren Sproles is he said that he would choose between three teams that he would go to. It'll be either the Saints, the Chargers, or the Eagles. Well, guess what? Darren Sproles chose the Eagles. So he's going to go back to the Eagles for the upcoming season, and he's going to share a loaded backfield with their people, Donnell Pumphrey, who's a pretty good young running back in his own right. And this was interesting for us because anytime you add Darren Sproles to the mixture, for the Saints, it would have been nice to have him there. But anytime it's a possibility that he could have been a Saints, we got to cover it. And like I said, it would have been nice for him, but he chose to go to Philly. So I mean, it is what it is. We still have good, decent backs. We have Buck Allen behind Latavius Murray and Elvin Kamara. My favorite undrafted gem is Devani Zigbo, who I think will be really big as people are really starting to notice Devani Zigbo. What's up, Scoob? Welcome to the show, baby. Who that to the rest of the fam? Scoob in the building, family. Uh, yeah, like I said, yeah, my fam trickling in. We had issues firing it up early, y'all. YouTube I don't know what the hell was wrong with YouTube, man. I don't know, some kind of glitchy stuff. But most of these social media platforms been having problems the last couple of weeks. Facebook, Instagram, bunch of them. It's weird. Anyway, we're just glad to finally get it over with. But anyway, that's one of the things to talk about Darren Sproles is he is no longer a topic of discussion for us unless we have to probably end up playing the Eagles, and more than likely hopefully he won't be much of a problem for the Saints defense. Okay, family, moving to our next topic on the horizon. Louisiana judge allows suit against NFL over Rams Saints missed call to continue. Now, this is good news here for us. Now, this coming directly from Pro Football Talk and from NBC, that is saying that, remember, a judge allowed a lawsuit against the NFL seeking damages over an inerrant pass interference no call in the NFC Championship game back in January. Now, according to Kevin McGill of the Associated Press, Louisiana Civil District Court Judge Nicole Shepard ruled that the attorneys for the plaintiffs can request documents from the NFL and question league officials. Now, that's including Roger Goodell and members of the officiating crew that worked the game. Now, what it's saying is, quote, the purpose of the lawsuit is not to get some minuscule amount of money. They won't even notice that. End quote. Now, the plaintiff attorney, which his name is Antonio Liman, said, quote, it's to get at the truth, end quote. So how about that? Now, we knew about Nick Aerobic Coleman running over Tommy Lee Lewis. Now, however, no flag was thrown on the play, and the Saints were forced to kick that 31-yard field goal instead of getting a fresh set of downs. And we all know what that would have happened if, when that had happened. The Saints ultimately went on to win the game. There was ultimately enough time for the Rams to drive a tying field goal that forced overtime, where the Rams won to advance to the Super Bowl. Now, the case is seeking only $75,000 in damages. You'd be like, damn, that's a low amount of money, but it's a purpose to it. That's how I'm saying this guy is really smart. He's keeping it below the threshold because it will risk that the case being moved to federal court. And he said, Lamont said, any funds awarded would be donated to the charity, as they're seeking information from the league about how the incident was handled and if the officials were disciplined. And then Lamont was saying, I want the personal files. I want their gradings. I want their notes from the game. And he going after them. Now, a prior lawsuit attempting to levy an injunction against NFL to force the game to replay the point of the missed call ahead of Super was nixed by a federal judge. So pretty much what happened was the judge said, you know what? No, you can't do it. Now, the federal judges love the NFL. The NFL got a lot of streak and pull with those guys because they got a great record in federal court. When you try to go at them up there, bam, they just smack you down. Probably got something to do with the fact they got some of the highest paid lawyers that money could have afford, and a lot of stroke and pull with those guys anyway. A lot of give and get, a lot of reciprocity between those guys. But this is awesome, man. This is awesome on so many levels. What y'all think about that, fam? Don't y'all think that's awesome on so many levels? Because with him forcing them for them to get the notes from the officials from that missed call, I wonder if they got any notes in that missed call about the fact that Dan Arnold dropped the touchdown pass. Huh? What you think about that one? You think they got any notes from that one? Man, let me tell you something, man. That's my little joke. Every time somebody come with this, and I think it's awesome because they got a little too much power, the NFL. Too much money, too much power, and they got to be took down a peg or two. Because you can't sit up there and remember how Roger Goodell played this thing. He didn't say a damn thing for over a week. For over a week, him and the league sat silent and did not address the issue. And then the time when he did address it, he addressed it at a press conference the week before, I think the week of or the week before the Super Bowl. And he did not take questions on the Saints thing. And didn't give a damn how it looked. Didn't give a damn how it looked. So I love it. I love the fact that the judge will say, yeah, you got to give up them records. Let me see, what did you find? I can answer the questions right now. Hell no, they didn't find the judges, the officials, for missing a call. Hell no, they didn't. Because you could put the tape on and see there were 3 judges in that area, 3 referees, in that area. And one of them was about to throw his flag. One of them was on the sideline waving no. The one that was running up the sideline was about to throw his flag and looked at the man waving his hand and then took his hand away from his flag. How do you not do it? How do you not throw it? But see, I can't hang it all on that because the Saints had several. We posted the replay. We had a Sports Coma replay show that we did. A rerun. Sports Coma rerun. We posted it on the community channel. I don't know if you fam got it, but it was the episode from the post episode of when the game happened, the Los Angeles Rams and Saints NFC Championship game. And we reposted the rerun just so you can hear, what I was saying, like right after it. It was like, no, you didn't say this and then you changed the cue. No, you saying the same stuff, man. You pretty consistent. I like to think I am, bro. But when I just tell you what I see. And I'm like, okay, I could tell you Mr. Lamont, I could tell you what you're gonna find when the NFL give you the records. You're gonna see that they find the officials. They ain't gonna find none of the officials. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They got exactly what they're supposed to do, which was to get two big market people together to play in the Super Bowl. You got the Boston market, which is one of the top 5 in the country in terms of media markets. And then you got the Los Angeles market, which is the second biggest market behind the New York market. See how this go? You see how this go, family? You see? That's what these greedy dogs like. That's what they are. That's what they do. Come on. This man make 20-something million dollars a year, Goodell. That's 10 times what the president make. He's a commissioner of a sports league. Who could afford to pay the commissioner $20 million a year? But a bunch of greedy bastards. They just sit up on chairs of gold in the boardroom. They just sit on chairs of gold like they're University of Texas people. They got big gold. There's so much money, might as well just buy, just waste the money. But yeah, family, this is good, man, because let's keep it honest. Maybe they'll find out. They can look into that NFL charter and find out they're not truly a sports league. They're more of an entertainment league. Same deal that happened with the WWF. Remember years ago, they got sued on that. So they changed it from the WWF to the WWE. And people's like, okay, why didn't they make the main name change? Because he was getting sued. He was getting sued by real wrestling people. Like, what the heck is this? But if you list it differently on entertainment, certain aspects of it could be quite scripted, can it, family? We all know this, because anytime you got the lines involved and Vegas get involved and say, well, they're going to win by 3 or they're going to win by 6. What does that mean? You think it's by chance that they ultimately get those things right at times? Come on. Not all of it, but certain things they picks and choose. They know not to manipulate the whole deal because they know you'll see that. But they know certain ones they tend to step in at the right time. And I'm saying this about referees because you can't criticize the referees. You can't talk about them. You can't say they made a bad call, even though they made a bad call. And one time I remember Sean Payton criticized referee last season. He made a bad call. Sean Payton said it was a bad call. He missed it. The league penalized him for it. You can't talk about the official. Goddamn, man, the man missed a bad call. I can't tell him he missed a bad call. I can't say it. No, you can't. He is to be respected. It's the integrity of the league. And the league don't have no integrity, man. I've been saying that. They've been lost. They've been lost their souls, man. Chasing the money. When you do stuff like the NFC Championship game, Goodell should have came down and said, you know what? No. We're going to play this thing again. It's like, oh, his excuse for not doing it was going to cost too much money. Who got more money than the NFL? Maybe some of them those soccer leagues overseas. But that's the issues, though, man. But I'm glad to hear about this gentleman, Mr. Lamont, taking the NFL's butts to court over the missed call with the Rams and Saints game. This could turn into something, because the rest of the lawsuits that were filed were all batted away by judges. But this man here, actually, this one will actually make it somewhere. And he wants the notes. He wants to know if they were disciplined. And I could tell you all the same thing. No, sir, they were not disciplined. They did what they were supposed to do. And I don't know what kind of notes they're going to get them. But at the end of the day, should there be some type of reciprocity for the New Orleans Saints organization for them to miss it that bad? I mean, seriously, if you blow it that bad, shouldn't we get draft picks? I mean, it's just like it's like the NFL behind Goodell's stewardship, his leadership, if you want to call it that. It's just literally hates the Saints. He just hates the Saints. You won't give you nothing. When they screwed up Bounty game, we ain't getting you ain't get no money for that. You ain't get any picks or nothing. We ain't get any draft picks or nothing from that, family. We didn't get any draft picks. We didn't get nine draft picks back. Remember, we lost our coach. You know, it tore up the combination of Sean Payton and Williams. Them two awesome coaches together, that tore all that up. Put Joe Vitt over it. A couple years, we fell apart for 2 years behind that. They took picks and everything. When it finally came out that they ain't had no proof on that, they had to reverse all that. Guess what they did? Nothing. Then the David Onyemata thing. Look what happened with Hill and Elliott, and they don't get punishment. But Daniel Onyemata gets a package in the mail. He ain't even smoking the stuff. Next thing you know, 1 game suspension. Damn, bro. Why you ain't just get a man a fine? $15,000, $20,000 fine for you. No, it's just like, wow. Goodell's is, I won't even, like I said, I won't call him a clown because it's an insult to professional clowns everywhere. But he is a jerk. He is a chump. I do not like Roger Goodell, and the Who Dat Nation rides with me on that because he is a chump. Chump, chump. So if anybody making shirt, matter of fact, we're gonna get a shirt with Goodell's face on it. We ain't gonna put a clown face on that because I seen those. I don't want to insult the clowns, but I'm gonna get but he definitely fits in the family of chumps. He is definitely he's the highest paid chump in the country and possibly in the world is Roger Goodell. What's up, fam? Young Till, what's up, baby? What's good? Much love to you, son. Appreciate you for coming on there. What up, J985J in the building? Tramal, what's good, baby? Hey, family, like I said, I was telling the fam that's already in the building. Sorry we coming at y'all a little bit late, man. We had some serious issues with YouTube. YouTube's kind of just, I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but that's why we late. We were lined up to hit it at 12, but we just stuck to it until we got through whatever the hell it was. What's up, Derek? What's happening, baby? Derek said the league has a good record with the courts because all the judges have free season tickets under the table. Donation, baby. Dan Arnold. Be every time you chat. They like that Dan Arnold. But bro, listen, man. I done had fam say, Q, let it go. I can't. You know, I seen a shirt. A guy had a shirt on yesterday, other day. I seen it online. And it was like we were robbed, and it was showing Courtney Roby Coleman running over Tommy Lee. You remember the famous picture with him running over Tommy trying to catch the ball, right, family? And I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna come out with a shirt. We got to do it. We're gonna come out with a shirt. And I'm telling you, it's gonna happen real soon. In the next couple of weeks, we're gonna come out a shirt called "We Weren't Robbed." We weren't robbed. And it's going to show a picture of Dan Arnold dropping the ball in a touchdown. And they got the two Los Angeles Rams defenders right behind him. And he falling forward, trying to cradle the ball into his stomach, remember? And you can see it poking out. And then I say, that's why he wasn't robbed. Even Sean Payton came out and said his schemes were vanilla that day, wasn't taking no chances. And I keep saying to y'all that the most boldest people win. The Rams were taking every chance they was going for it. On fourth down, they were doing things that a desperate team wanted to do to win the game. They were doing bold moves. Saints were real vanilla in the first half. Real vanilla. And then of course we were dropping passes. Then we had the Dan Arnold drop touchdown pass. That ultimately I was like, man, we're not gonna win this game. It just felt bad. When we was playing against like this guy drops the damn touchdown. And that just a omen for me. I was like, man, we in trouble. We in trouble when we see that. But I got a bad feeling when Ben Watson got hurt the game before. Remember, family, he couldn't play in the game. And then Josh Hill he got a concussion, I think, in that game. He got a concussion, remember? He got a concussion, I think, in the previous game or the same game with the Rams game, he got a concussion. And ultimately, what ended up happening was, oh snap, here we go. And then, but we still had that. We can't blame the crooked NFL to a degree, but you got a certain amount of control on the field. You just have to execute. You've got to execute. And I don't care, like, well, he's a rookie. Somebody was on here a while ago saying, man, Q, the man was an undrafted rookie. I said, oh, yeah. So that was his first time playing in a football game, right? College or otherwise, right? He's a tight end. He was a former wide receiver. My point is, he's caught the ball. You learn how to catch the ball. That's what you do. You'll be a receiver. You learn how to pitch and catch. Guy throw you the ball. I catch it. You do that. I do that with my sons. I throw him the ball. He catches the ball. That's something you do from a child level. So it ain't nothing alien. Like he got to catch the ball with his feet. I mean, the man he should have caught it, But anyway, don't let me get on my damn spiel. My what's it called? But this is a good thing though, family. There's some of the family to the chat that's getting into the live stream. We covered the Darren Sproles is going with the Eagles. His choices were the Chargers, Saints, and Rams. He is chosen to go with the Eagles. Carl Granderson is still on the Saints active roster after a week or so of being sentenced to 6 months in jail. Emmanuel Butler is designated to the non-football injury list. And of course, we're covering the Louisiana judge allows the suit against the NFL over the Rams Saints missed call to continue ahead. So all that is what we've recently covered, family, as we proceed to go. Tramal see our defense step up in the first half against the Rams. It did. Defense been carrying the Saints all season long. You think about it. The Saints last several seasons, Saints defense has been carrying the offense. Offense has been struggling off and on, trying to catch its fill. The special teams have been okay only because of two aspects. You have a few players that own coverage, but the kick return and punt return aspect of the special teams needs to improve. And I think that's the thing. What's up, Lionel? What's going on? Welcome to this live stream here, baby. Now, going into our next thing, man, I want to talk about a few things just to hit y'all with. Kurt Coleman, the unproductive Kurt Coleman, the safety that was with the Carolina Panthers, came over to the Saints for a couple years, got some free money for doing nothing but being a high-paid coach, tutoring the defensive backs. He's found a new job. The Saints said, you know what, we got to cut you off, player. This is not working. So what ultimately ended up happening is the Saints released Kurt Coleman. The Bills decided to sign him a few days ago, and he will replace another former Saint safety, Raphael Bush, who decided to hang him up during his 9-year career. He played with the Falcons, the Broncos, and the Saints. And he had some really good years with the New Orleans Saints organization. And now I just like, Bush, Raphael Bush is hanging him up. So they bring in Kurt Coleman to replace him. So there you go with the Kurt Coleman thing. Now, moving ahead, 5 Saints, this is from WWL, y'all, website. 5 Saints to keep an eye out on. Now, we covered our people doing it. Now, of course, what they're saying is they had a few Saints that they want you to keep an eye out on. They're saying center Eric McCoy is one they want to keep your eye on. Center cornerback Patrick Robinson, wide receiver Cameron Meredith, quarterback Teddy Bridgewater are some of the players that they're saying out on. Now, let's look at it. Keep an eye out on training camp. Now, the mentality of this writer is the fact that he's saying, will Eric McCoy become the starting center of the Saints? Hell yeah, he's gonna be the starting center, man. What's wrong with you? You don't know Eric McCoy? What's up, John? How you doing, friend? That's right, John. John says, I'm a junkie on the sports cone. We will fix the problem. Thank you, John. Hey, John, I tell you what, man, we was like, you know what? He was trying to figure it out, man. We thought we was having computer issues. Like, man, this ain't our problem, man. This is YouTube. This YouTube. And ultimately, it must have had one of those things. I don't know, man. Like I said, we've been having problems with platforms. But thank you, though, family. Thank you. Thank all my family that's in the stream. I know we are a little bit behind today with it. What's up, Ronald? What's going on, baby? How you doing? Donovan, what's happening, Donovan? Donovan says Big Q, he makes around 33 million. Really? Really? Seriously, Donovan? I gave that chump 20 million. You mean to tell me that son gonna make 13 million more than what I stipulated? Yeah, man. That's way too much money for a guy that bad at his job. We definitely got to do a t-shirt. We definitely got to do a t-shirt on that chump Roger Goodell. What's up, Troy? What's going on, baby? Welcome to the live stream, man. What's good with it? But yeah, family. I mean, I think anytime, man, that you got a guy like that, man, just operating, man, and everybody hates him. But he's totally the adverse of what Paul Tagliabue was. Paul Tagliabue, for most people that don't remember Paul Tagliabue, he was the commissioner before Roger Goodell got there, and everybody loved Paul Tagliabue. He was personable. He cared about the fans, and I don't know if he made that kind of money, but he was a guy. He was the face of the league, and people loved Paul Tagliabue. Then you get this buffoon Goodell in here, and he just screws the Saints any chance he wants. Jamal says Jerry Jones wants Goodell going. Really? I'm with Jerry on that. That's true. He does want him, but there's too many other people out there say we love Goodell. We making record profits with him. But that's one of them old biblical sayings that what profits you if you gain the whole world but lose your soul? It's like empty. You know what I'm saying? So we making all this money, but the people hate us. They waiting for a league to support just to run your ass up out of here. You know what I'm saying? You just ain't got much of competition on it. But anyway, fam, let's go back to this article that was written here about center Eric McCoy saying, is he consistent enough and reliable enough to take Max Unger's position? I think Eric McCoy will definitely be a fantastic pickup in terms of the Saints. You will forget about Max Unger. I know that's a lot to say because Max Unger was for a long time one of the top 5 best centers in the league during his duration playing in the NFL. And that's big shoes to heap on him. But Eric McCoy is going to be the starting center for the Saints for the next 10 years. He is definitely going to make you forget Max Unger, like Max Unger made you forget his predecessor or their predecessor. I mean, the Saints is what we do here. We got an excellent offensive line staff. We do. We get these guys ready to play, and we are very talented. Eric McCoy will be no different. Eric McCoy will come here and he will situate himself in the center of that offensive line. Him and Drew Brees will get their snaps together for the duration of when Drew's here, and he will hold down the center of that offensive line for the next 10 years. And within a couple years, he'd be considered one of the top 5 best centers in the NFL. You can rewind this show and hear me say that again. I'm putting it on the record, y'all. That's how good Eric McCoy is to me, and to a lot of people. He will be that guy. Next people they talk about on the article is Marcus Davenport, and I actually agree with him on this one. Now they saying we gave up a couple of picks to get Davenport last year, and he finished out with 4.5 sacks, 12 hits on the QB, and 28 pressures in 13 games of action. Now the question is his health. Now he had a bevy of different injuries last year. He had surgery on his thumb. He had he had a toe problem that he had to go get surgery on, and he was just banged up, man. And he was kind of off and on. He couldn't really catch his groove. And if you remember, all that happened early. The thumb thing happened early, so he got into camp. He had right after the draft, he had that issue, and I was like, man, the Saints drafted that guy with the issue because right after that, he had surgery. Then everything else happened. So the question is that can Davenport contribute in a way where we can kind of be like, okay, well, we don't, I'm not even worried about the third defensive end, but I'm more focused about the third defensive end because I don't know what Davenport. 13 games and 4.5 sacks, not bad. If he'd played the rest of the games, he might have had a couple of more sacks. And actually, he got most of those sacks on straight talent alone. If you put the tape on and watch Marcus Davenport, he's using the speed to just kind of get around there and make plays. Now, he had a few almost got him moments too, just like Cam do. If Cam, as much as Cam is back there in a pocket and he actually gets half of the guy, Cam would average like 15, 16 sacks a year, man. He's always back there. He just has them almost got. He'll reach out and get them, or some guy hold him. I mean, there was several times, like in the Rams game, the guy had Cam around his neck, and the official was looking right at him and didn't throw. I'm like, dude, just slap the referee, just slap the piss out of him, slap his eyeglasses off. You can't see that. You ain't see that. Yeah, I'm angry at the refs right now. They got to make it up. What's up, Gary? How you doing, my friend? How you feeling, my man? Welcome to the show. Dada. What's up, family? You're not late, man. We late. Thanks to YouTube. We was almost an hour later hitting the live stream, man, because of technical difficulties. Audit is in the building. Welcome, fam. But yeah, that's the thing, man. Dealing with Davenport is, I'm after the third defensive end position because of Davenport. I'm not certain. I'm not certain. Carlito, thank you for your donation, my man. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you for your donation. I just seen that, my man. It just popped up here. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Also, man, I don't know about that. They saying he's healthy, but they say that when they drafted him. But if he's healthy, I'm looking at what's a reasonable sack total for a guy in the second year that played 13 games, most of the practices. What's a decent sack total for that guy? What's a decent sack total in y'all minds? And I'm throwing that out to y'all, family, of Davenport. Okay, let's look at our starting ends for a second. Let's start with Davenport first. What's a decent sack total for Davenport for this second year? I would say anywhere between 8 to 10 sacks. That would be decent to me. Now, if you then say, okay, Cam, what would be Cam's total? Cam has got to have between 10 to 15 sacks. I would say Cam probably end up with 12 or 13 sacks. What do you think about it, family? Y'all talk to me about it. What's a decent sack total for Davenport? Because and that's the thing. That's the major thing that I've been really hard on. And that's why that Carl Granderson story keep coming to light too. Because I know what the Saints trying to do. I know what y'all trying to do. But see, the Saints realized they signed Wes Horton, and come on, they had really good pass rushers out there could have helped. Now, by the way, what's my guy retired, man? I was talking to y'all family members about, man. He retired, man. Well, I forgot the man name already. Derek Morgan. Derek Morgan was the guy that I wanted the Saints to look at. He retired. So, I mean, you still got Nick Perry. You still got a few veteran defensive ends out there that can come in. You still got Muhammad Wilkerson, So why we hung up with the jailbird? I mean, I ain't gonna call them all that, man. But I'm saying at the end of the day is that you need to have somebody that's going to be there for you, that's actually going to produce. And Muhammad Wilkerson could fill that role. The Saints don't have any. I mean, it's a gamble on a because if Davenport gets hurt, who do you go to? Who do you go to? I mean, it impacts the whole defensive line because if Davenport's not there in a steady capacity, who you gonna turn around and say Trey Hendrickson, go get him? Really? Trey Henderson just is almost as bad is badder than Davenport when it comes down to play time. And I'm saying this is just like, oh man, this the year Henderson got to step up. I said that last year. I said Henderson should have been out the door last year, man. Come on. You didn't give Haloi Kakaha that long to to get it together. So I mean, I'm just saying, man, that's one of the things I was looking at. I'm like, man, what are we gonna do here? What are we gonna do? What's up, Daryl? Daryl says 8. 8 sack. Daryl, me and you on the same wavelength, man. 8. Artist says 10. Tramal says 8 or 9. Lionel says this year's Davenport's real grade year, and he needs at least 8 to 10 sacks. I agree, family. 8 to 10 is probably the norm, right? What's up, Ronald? Ronald says 10 sacks or better, Q. He will explode on the league this year. Quote me on this. I'm with you, Ronald. I'm with you, baby. I want him. I want the man to have a double-digit sack year because the more sacks he have on that side, that means Mr. Cam almost got him. Jordan tearing him up on the other side. So if we can get our 2 edge rushers to really fire off and do some stuff, we should be all right. What's up, John? John says, John, what is all that? I don't know what's going on, John. I can't read all that, John. What up, Jason? What's going on? Dada says about 9 for Davenport and Cam 14. Yeah, okay. 9 o'clock props. What's good, baby? 8 to 10 sacks now that Okafor's go. Okay. Hey, Demi, what's going on, baby? What's up, Aaron? Who that to you too, cuz? Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, long time listener. Thank you, sir. Welcome to the live stream, my friend. But see, most of the family is agreeing with me. They're saying that 8 to 10 sacks for Davenport is decent for a second year in. But fam, think about it too like this. Think about it like this too. Davenport, Cam is going to be doubled. So you might get 12 to 15 sacks for Cam Jordan, correct? And if you go to Davenport's side, he's going to be facing single blocking most of the time, don't you think? I mean, they're going to slide tight end to try to stop Cam Jordan. Cam's our best defensive lineman, So they're going to be blocking him. Then you got to look at it and say, well, how about the guy in the interior? Is Malcolm Brown, and he's going to require 2 guys. Malcolm Brown is not going. You can't block Malcolm Brown with one dude, so he's going to suck up a guy. So many times Davenport's going to have single blocks. He's going to have to beat his man. So 8 to 10 sacks is a pretty good marker for a guy that for the majority of the time is going to be single blocked. Are we in agreement here, family? Are we in agreement here? Because we know Cam is going to be doubled. He's always doubled, or chip blocked or what have you. They always pay attention to Cam because he's disruptive. But if Davenport is on the opposite side, he's going to be facing single a lot of times, especially when Sheldon Rankins comes back. You're going to have Malcolm Brown and Sheldon Rankins in the interior of the Saints defensive line. Somebody's going to get one-on-one opportunities, and I elect it's going to be Marcus Davenport. He has to be healthy, and he has to show up. Now, the position behind Davenport is something of a mystery because we got Trey Hendrickson, and Trey Hendrickson's injury history is worse than Davenport's. So I can't count on Trey Hendrickson because he hasn't shown me that he's reliable enough in that aspect. Now, don't get me wrong. I love what Trey Hendrickson brings. He has that motor. He's gotten stronger. He's got technique. He's not the fastest man, but he'll outwork you. But the problem always has been with Trey Hendrickson is the fact that he is not healthy. That's what it comes down to. Hate to tell you, but that's exactly what it is. It's what it is. It's what it is. Is Davenport is constant. Well, not Davenport, but Trey Hendrickson is a guy that you can't rely on. You look down the depth chart, you get Wes Horton. Fans be like, who? Who Q? Who the hell is Wes Horton? And Wes Horton's the defensive lineman the Saints picked up from the Carolina Panthers, who had 5.5 sacks a couple of seasons ago. The Saints brought him in. And Daryl says what Chad says, which is, what's up, Daryl? Daryl says, no trade for Clowney. That's crazy. We have much interest. Somebody's saying trade. I think, I don't know if the Saints can afford him. I think last time I checked, they got like $12 million of cap left, according to sporttrack.com. Tremal says Malcolm Brown might be what we need in Rankin's absence. No doubt about it. Malcolm Brown is terribly disruptive, bro. He requires, who that, Edward? Who that, baby? He requires double blocking. So that's what I'm saying. If you double blocking Cam, you double blocking Brown, you got to say Davenport's going to get that push. Appreciate it, Henry. Thank you for your donation, my friend. Both Carlito and Aaron, thank you for your donations, family. And for the fam in the building that's joining us here, please feel free to hit the likes button, to hit the thumbs up button, family. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, and hit the bell for notifications. So when we do go live again, you'll get the notification. Been having problems with our notifications too through YouTube too. We having them to address that issue that not all of our family are getting the notifications. What is up with that, YouTube? But they are good people, so they're working through it. The system's got problems, but I give you that they do work to fix them though. Anyway, yes, sir. Wes Horton, and then I'm not even talking about most of these undrafted guys like Carbon Kafosi. I don't know what he's massive, but we've had big defensive ends before. I mean, what you gonna keep him on the team so he can bat down a kick? Put his hands up and block a field goal. That might work, but not much else. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying, though, family, when it come down to it, man. We have to understand that that's why your boy from Wyoming, Granderson, was so important. And I keep telling guys that I was like, man, Granderson, the Saints didn't bring in. They got really good defensive ends still out there that you can get. I mean, you can get Muhammad Wilkerson right now for really next to nothing. You can get him for a few $100,000, maybe a meal, about $5 to $8 million, maybe less than $8 million for Muhammad Wilkerson to come in and as a reserve capacity. You don't have a steady defensive end behind, what have you. You gonna wait 6 months for Kiss the Girls and make them cry to get out and come and help you and put up with all them women? You gonna put up with all them angry women? You better not do that. You're gonna have a lot of angry women on you against you. But then they can say, well, we are the Saints. We are the Saints. We are the Saints. And we believe in forgiveness. They can bust that one on you, y'all. They can bust that one on y'all. All it says, you're a truth. Hey, D, how you doing? How you doing, D? Welcome. Okay, Carlito says 14 sacks for Cam. Hey, Carlito, I'm with you on that. I think Cam, man, you know what? That's the thing that a lot of people I did not respect in their mind. We have like guys like JJ Watt get like 16, 17, 18 sacks. If Cam can get north of 15 sacks in a year, I mean, that'd be just too much. But but the defensive line's got to help Cam get that to get that high sack total. They have to help him. And what I mean by that is Davenport got to tear ass up over there on his side. Malcolm Brown's got to push up the center. When Sheldon Rankins gets back, he has to tear it up too. And then that'll help Cam get those sacks. Because a lot of times Cam is doubled and he's still getting high sack production. Even if you look at his numbers when he was drafted around the same time JJ Watt is, Watt's numbers are a little bit higher. And but if you think about it for a second, you understand that he has higher numbers, but not that much significantly higher than what Cam is. But if we can get Cam, man, we can help Cam out on the defensive line by Davenport doing his job. And another thing is too, not wearing Cam Jordan out. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by this, not I know you can't wear him out. He got a nonstop motor, but every now and again he got to come off the field and take a rest. I mean, he got to. And would help the Saints defensively to keep the pressure on is for them to have decent pass rushers. I'm not sure of that off the bench. Who do you have? Who do you have that can, when Davenport or Cam come off the bench to get some air, or if God forbid something happened to Davenport where he gets hurt and has to come out, who's gonna fill it? Who's gonna pick up the slack? Who's gonna pick up the slack? Oh, Trey Hendrickson got it. Oh, yeah. No. Q Wes Horton got it. Yeah. No. Corbin Kafusi got it. Corbin Kafusi. I mean, Geno Grissom and got Shy Tuttle. No, man. I mean, no disrespect to these players, but the reality of the situation is when you in a situation the Saints are in, we looking at a Super Bowl, we need people that's done it before, man. We need guys that can really do it. Donovan says 8 to 10 sacks. Okay, I got you, Donovan. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you. Artist says you talk about corrupt NFL. You buck in the system, Q. Says the one's name is Audit the Fed. A lot of people don't know what that name means. I know what it means. We talking the same lingo here, Audit. But yeah, bro. Ronald says Granderson is a prospect that has a special skill set rushing the passes. They'll wait on this guy. It won't help us this year, but definitely won't be on the radar next season. Good point, Ronald. But would you wait on Carl Granderson? And you got an army of angry women that's going to be coming after him, and men too, that don't want that type of person on the team. I mean, that you might get some feedback, some negative feedback on it. Is it worth that? Just to address that. That's my thing. Do you want that negative press on your team? Hey, I'm just saying. Jason said, hey, Q Granderson coming back to us after his sentence. Look like we covered it earlier, my man. I can go back over it. For those who did miss some of the news items we covered early in the show, we talked about Sproles. He decided to go with the Eagles over the Saints and the Chargers. Kurt Coleman, the former safety, is with the Saints. Is now signed on with the Bills, and he replacing Raphael Bush, who's retiring, who's also a former Saint. We also talked about the fact that the Louisiana judge allowed a suit against the NFL over the Rams Saints missed call. That was really big. We covered that as well. And we talked about the fact that Emmanuel Butler, who a lot of people had a lot of love for, very productive receiver in college, is put on the non-football injured list. And of course, Granderson was placed on the did not report to camp list. And the Saints might be trying to stash him on the slick, but it's been over a week since his sentence, and we thinking like, okay, I ain't gonna lie with you. In today's climate in NFL, a lot of people not playing with that sexual misconduct stuff, and I was saying in my mind, man, he going down. They gonna cut him, but the Saints didn't release him. They put him on. They ain't put him on the street. They put him on another list, and I'm laughing at it because I'm saying to myself, y'all gonna do this? Y'all really want to do this? Y'all really want to do this? Like, it's gonna be an interesting summer. I don't know, man. No, but they look like they're going to keep him, Jason. That's what it looks like. It's looking like now and they might get a little drawback, but I guess they can kind of wait for it and see what kind of drawback they get from it. Like, oh no, you ain't gonna keep me. Then they like, but if it ain't too much to it, I guess they're gonna try to see if they can walk it through, and then say about second chances and the like, and all that kind of stuff. Make them go through training and cycle evaluation and sensitivity training, what have you, before he's reacclimated. I guess, or reacclimated, like the man got some issues, whatever. But they'll go through some type of program, which that he'll get back to football, whether that's with the Saints or somebody else. Guy got a lot of talent, and I I just didn't think the Saints was gonna wait for him. Look like they are. Artist says Wilkinson will be a Saint. It will be interesting if remember that he spurned him last year and went to Green Bay. So he could possibly be a guy the Saints bringing around camp, because they definitely need to get the man in, somebody in here to help out. And Jason says, I say, what you say? I'll take Wilkinson this year. I know too. And the thing is, you got to look at it, man. You taking a guy like Wilkinson because what he brings. He's a guy that can get to the quarterback. He's a guy that could play either interior, exterior. He's a force. And I would love to have Muhammad Wilkinson backing up Marcus Davenport. That's just my take. I just don't see anybody on the depth chart that inspires me. And I know the camp hasn't started yet, but they'll have a few guys. Trey Henderson is a guy everybody is throwing in the ring. Say, oh, Trey Henderson is going to be the man. I wouldn't bet on that, man. Who that, Crass? Who that, baby? Welcome back, bro. Anakin Skywalker, man. Prior to that, I'm a Star Wars fan, Star Wars man. So Anakin Skywalker before he became Darth Vader. But yeah, the show, let's put that in there, fam. Let's get that call-in number in there as well. But this is some of the things that we dealing with today on the show, family. Aaron, what's up, Aaron? Aaron says, let's see here. What you saying here, Aaron? Aaron says, bro, with the line. Hold on here, Aaron. Let me see here. Something happened to Aaron's comment. Oh, there we go. Aaron's comment is, let's see what you got here, Aaron. I can't read your comment for whatever reason here. There it is. Bro, with the line we have this season, we should lead the league in sacks if Davenport in big ranking stays healthy. Agree. I agree, brother, man. You got it. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Absolutely. Sheldon Rankins, they're gonna work him back slowly, so you don't have to worry about him coming there. But Malcolm Brown's addition is just stupendous in my book. You know what I mean? Absolutely stupendous in my book, because he's a massive guy that requires a double blocking. I mean, you can't stop him. I mean, if you watch footage of him in New England, he was a force then, and to pair him with Cam and Davenport and then Sheldon when he comes back, oh my goodness. Boy's gonna be feasting on the quarterback every Sunday, and I can't wait, man. So yeah, I agree with you. Aaron Crass says there is sin everywhere, or that the Fed guys get in trouble anywhere. Yeah, they do, and they are. And I'm gonna give you one in a minute. We're gonna cover it after we get through this article, family, about a former defensive back the Saints had on the team who got a lot of trouble going. I'm like, man, what the heck is going on here? Scoop said people panties are in a bunch nowadays. We become a nation of wussies. Say, let me tell you something, bro. When sexual misconduct is a big thing, both sides of the fence, and people don't like it, and we've got soft and sensitive on a lot of stuff. You're right on that, but it's certain things people not gonna tolerate, and that's like one of the things that's in that group. So you might have that. I'm just letting you know. Ronald says, who's out there? You have to draft well and groom the players that are in place already. I'm tired of all the last minute retreads. They free for a reason. Yeah, you're right, Ronald. But you got to remember what we trying to do here. I mean, what we trying to do here in New Orleans? We trying to win a Super Bowl, right? Cuz if that's the case, if we trying to win a Super Bowl and you got Drew Brees here for one season, we don't know what's going to happen. Of course, Mickey Loomis said, oh, well, we're going to play it season by season. What if you have a desperate team that offers Drew more money than when the Saints willing? Then you got people say, oh, well, Drew will never go nowhere. He'll never go nowhere. You don't know. We don't know. We don't know what Drew going to do. He ain't under contract no more. He might decide to go wherever. I'm saying it's not a given. It's not set in stone, is what I'm saying. I say Ice, get him under contract a few more years, get a successor behind him. But Muhammad Wilkerson is a guy that you need somebody that can come in and impact this year because you're on the cusp of a Super Bowl. We're not a rebuilding team. We're not a middle of the road team. We're not trying to get their team. We're a team that's sitting at the cusp, and we just need somebody else to do a little bit more production to get us over. And you got to remember, the third defensive end position is very vital. It's almost like a starter in the same system because they use that third pass rusher to come in. Sometimes they even take one of the defensive ends off the field and put that third pass rusher in there. Remember, they was doing that with Okafor when he was here. They would bring out one of the defender, bring Tyler Davison out off the field, put Okafor, Davenport, Sheldon Rankins, and Cam out there and say, go get them. It's a very important part of the defensive line, that third pass rusher is what I'm saying. And you don't have one right now. I mean, no disrespect to the guys that's out there like Wes Horton, Carbon Kafusi, Geno Grissom, Shai Tuttle, Trey Hendrickson. I mean, does any of these names inspire confidence? Let me know, and I'll stop naming them. But Muhammad Wilkerson is a guy that has respect because Muhammad Wilkerson's good at what he does. You're not asking him to tear up the world, but he's good at what he does. All right, sirs, let's keep on moving here. Audit the Fed says Wilkerson a devout Muslim. If so, if there's too much, he might be secular. Audit, you got jokes today, huh, buddy? Say if so, there's too much big easy sin in his eyes to play here. Oh man, he won't get in trouble in Green Bay because ain't nothing to do in Green Bay. Oh man, Daryl says I think we need Wilkerson week 1. Houston, we're going to bring pressure. That's right. Thank you, Daryl. But you know why we're gonna need Wilkerson? Because you're gonna be without Daniel Nemaya, David Onyemata. You're gonna be without Sheldon Rankins, and then the Saints gonna rely on. I can't keep forgetting this man's name. Hold on here, family. I don't know what it is with me. Keep forgetting this guy's name. He must not be that more important to what I'm thinking about because I ought to remember. I'm usually pretty good about my names, man. But for whatever reason, I don't know if the Saints see what this guy is going to bring. I mean, he could be either or in the system that the Saints are going to employ. He could be an interior pass rusher. He could be a exterior pass rusher. But I just keeps forgetting this man, Mario Edwards Jr. Why? Fam, why can't I remember that man's name? Why can't I remember Mario Edwards Jr.? I can remember Ted again, Jr. He's a junior. I'm a junior. So how can I not remember? And I just forgot it just that quick. God dog it. I just can't remember the man's name. I don't know. Mario Edwards Jr. Mario Edwards. I got to remember that, fam. I keep forgetting the man's name. When I'm talking about, and then we could think about him as possible defensive end, even though he's made more of an impact interior wise. His signing was really curious because they knew about the David Onyemata thing coming up. And of course, Sheldon Rankins. That's two really big losses right there because Sheldon Rankins losing him and then David Onyemata for that one game. Those are big losses, to be honest with you. Even though it's for one game, still big losses in my book. So what do we do? What do we do here? Do we let Mario Edwards Jr. be the guy that comes in and do what needs to be done? He probably end up being the guy. But I still would like, who do you like better? Does Mario Edwards Jr. inspire your confidence as a pass rusher or a guy that can help it or Muhammad Wilkerson? You tell me. We name people. You're going to put on the Nikes or the Protex. What you going to do? The USA 500s, 100s, 1000s. Remember those? Remember the Protex? The people that came up poor. Remember Protect? Y'all remember them Protex. Don't sit up here and pretend like y'all don't remember. You go to school with them Protex on. You know why? Because your mom's like, listen, we ain't about names. You just got a good pair of shoes on your feet. And then you wear the Protex for a month and they tan up. You know why? Because the Protex are cheap. And you get what you pay for. And I'm not calling Mario Edwards Jr. Protect, and I'm not covering Muhammad Wilkerson as Nike. But I'm saying if you look at their record in terms of production, who's a better player? Come on. I don't want no damn Protex. I'm gonna be honest with you. Anyway, thank you, Donovan. I appreciate the donation. You too, Derek. Thank you, sir. And Adrian as well. Thank you. Y'all great people. Love y'all, man. Thank y'all for y'all fantastic donations, man. Thank y'all. Um, I see you. Dada says Saints see too much talent there, and I cutting Granderson. I knew they weren't going to cut him. Well, Dada, you you on another level, baby, because most certainly said they was going to get rid of his ass right after the verdict. The Saints stashed that man. They just hoping it all died down. I don't know how it's going to play, man. That's a risky move for the Saints organization. I'm really surprised by that, to be honest with you. I'm taken back by that. That one kind of surprised me. Garrett said, I think Granderson will only serve 3 months because of 2-for-1 days. Okay. All right. We had to pay attention to that. Scoop says bad boys play with more edge. Crash says, what do we do, bro? Trey Anderson gets swallowed up against the run. He cannot set the edge. Good point, Crash. Great point. But did he fix that? Because I know you got, like I said, I've been kind of pushing out there Ryan Nielsen, because Ryan Nielsen makes these defensive linemen better. He teaches them, prides on them, and teaches them technique and speed and power and all this kind of his stuff. And I think Trey Hendrickson, how really good is Trey Hendrickson now? That's the question. How really good is he is in the system now? That's what we gotta figure out. We got to figure that out. How really good is, and we're going to see in camp how good Trey Anderson is, because he's going to get an opportunity to show what he can do in that capacity. We're going to see what he learned. Derek says, "Thanks for keeping us up on the Saints news, Q, especially since look like all our Saints sport reporters left for another." does seem like that, doesn't it, Derek? I mean, they just bandwagon. They got bandwagon fans. They got bandwagon reporters. It's just no difference, bro. All it says pork, alcohol, and shellfish. Crash said, I heard that rookie Emmanuel Butler was placed on reserve non-injury football. Is that accurate? That is correct. That is correct and accurate, Crash. That Emmanuel Butler is placed on the non-football injury list, and we don't know how long he'll be on that list, but he was a long shot to make the team anyway, and hopefully he can get off the list in enough time to contribute, because I want to see what Emmanuel Butler could do. I mean, he got good size, he got pretty good speed, and he's pretty productive. I would like to see what he can do in camp, soon them young receivers. Jay said, it's Darren Sharper, y'all. Get ready. Shame. Shaking my you know what in the head. Crash said, I was looking forward to seeing what Butler can do too. Yeah, you know what? We're going to have to just wait on it, man. Hopefully it ain't nothing serious and they'll bring him back. Scoop says our linebackers are rounding into studs. Let the D line become a factor. We're going to be real problematic. That's right, sir. We really are. Once we get healthy, it shouldn't be. We should have a very serious unit right here. But let's get back into this article, fam, and I'm gonna get back to reading your comments and questions as well, concerns. Getting back into this article from WWL websites mentioning about the Saints players that you need to keep an eye out for. Eric McCoy was listed. We covered him. We just got off of Marcus Davenport's coverage. The third guy is cornerback Patrick Robinson. Okay, now P-Rob coming back. He played 3 games last season. Now, of course, you remember Patrick Robinson, Saints 2010 first-round draft pick. He's placed on injury after he broke his ankle in the Atlanta game. Now he's totally healthy, but he'll be 31 years old, playing in the slot. Now last year, that I think Pro Football Focus had him ranked as a top slot man, and I think it was in 2017. Now, what does it mean though? You got P-Rob coming back in the slot position. Is he a guy to watch out for? It's crazy to me, man. I've read several articles and items covering the Saints, and you know what, family? Not one of those people mentioned Kevon Webster. I'm like, man, don't y'all have a roster? Don't you have a roster that you pull up to look on? I know I do when I forget Mario Edwards Jr.'s name. I pull up my roster and I look at it and I say, man, well, the guy in this article mentioned Chauncey Gardner-Johnson at the nickel. I'm like, listen, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is a good player, you know, but he's a safety. You're not going to move Chauncey Gardner-Johnson into Patrick Robinson's position, right? I mean, he still needs some seasoning, you know. Eventually, you want Gardner back there as a safety because I think he's the heir apparent for Von Bell. I think Von Bell goes, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson steps in for his position. That's what I think he's back there for. But this year alone, you got to rely on your veterans. And then in the article, it speaks about PJ Williams. Are you serious, man? How you just omit totally out of the conversation Kevon Webster? The Saints signed Kevon Webster to come in here. He's an 8-year veteran corner with a Super Bowl ring who's healthy. So how the hell do you talk about PJ Williams and freaking I don't, you know, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson has his place. It's just not in that taking Patrick Robinson's job. I just don't see that. It's like, oh, well, it's gonna be a battle it's a spot check. No, it's not, man. What are you talking about? That's Patrick Robinson's job. Patrick Robinson is getting paid a nice chunk of salary to play the nickel position, and he's gonna be good at it. I mean, you look at the Saints secondary. I mean, how people not talking about what's wrong with these guys? Why are we not talking about Kevon Webster? And why are we not talking about, you know, our wide receiver that just came in, which I just, you know, just really smoothly forgot the man's name which is Rashard Matthews. I'm having problems with names today, family. What's going on? I'm glitching like the YouTube platform. See, I got accused. I'm accusing people. I got accused of the same thing. I forgot. I know who he is. But see, how you forget Kevon Webster? How we forget Rashard Matthews? These are pivotal signings for the Saints organization. Rashard Matthews is basically the third wide receiver. He's gonna come in as your slot man. Kevon Webster is if healthy, is definitely going to be a very good cornerback in the man. I don't want Ken Crawley in there. If I got Kevon Webster there, Kevon Webster is an upgrade over Ken Crawley in my book. And besides, we ain't talking about potential. Both of those guys are on a 1-year deal. Both PJ Williams and Ken Crawley and Kevon Webster. Now let's rank them here. Who has more ability? Who's a better cornerback? It's Kevon Webster, PJ Williams, and Ken Crawley. That's the order. But people are omitting Kevon Webster like he ain't even signed a contract. He ain't even on the team. Then I get the whole deal or the whole thing again about, oh, that guy don't make a difference. He ain't there. He ain't gonna even make the team. Oh, so you gonna give PJ Williams an opportunity? How terrible he been lately. Make a play, he makes a play, then screw up 2 plays, then make a good play, screw up another play. I'm tired of PJ Williams, man. He's just like that other guy. He like Trey Hendrickson. He's not like Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson never on the field. Damn near always missing time. Trey Hendrickson's like Teron Armstead. PJ Williams is like, I don't know if anybody equates to what PJ Williams does. PJ Williams is your best tackling cornerback you have, but as far as cover skills, no. PJ Williams couldn't cover a bed. But at the end of the day, though, you know, who you want? You want a Super Bowl or not? You comfortable back there with PJ Williams riding back there? You want PJ Williams back there? Really? You want how about Ken Crawley? Let's put Ken Crawley back out there. Let's put Ken Crawley back out there and see what he gonna do, but get a bunch of pass interferences. Come on, man. It was because of the shitty play of Ken Crawley, the reason why the Saints made the trade for Eli Apple. You know, so I can see what they're doing. You get a veteran cornerback, you plug them behind Patrick Robinson, and you can still keep one of those guys, either PJ Williams or a Ken Crawley. I don't care. Either one of them. Or you could just release them and just say, okay, we're going to use Gardner as a spare cornerback when he's not as a nickel. I mean, you could do that too. But I'm saying at the end of the day, I will ride with the veteran. Same mentality with the defensive line. I'm going to ride with the veteran. I got to ride with the veteran. You ain't got nobody on the third pass rusher. Let's go get a veteran. You got a veteran as a fourth cornerback. I got my veteran. You know why? Because they seeing it all. This other guy is scared to make plays out here, man. We can't have them type of dudes. Yeah, Scoob says Coach Nielsen is a true gem. Dude is good, man. The Saints pulled that dude up out of the North Carolina State Wolfpack. And if you go back when he was there, The Wolfpack were producing NFL grade defensive linemen, and Sean Payton seen that and heads thumbs up to Coach Payton for recognizing that. Because remember, that's the year they got rid of Bill Johnson's sorry ass and then brought Ryan Nielsen in here. And I got to give him credit because Nielsen is intense. He gets on those guys. He teaching them. I mean, he's a hell of a coach. That's why I always give Ryan Nielsen credit and I shout his name out there because I'm telling you, these defensive players are stepping up. Not just, they're contributing, but they're getting instruction, proper instruction on what to do. And Ryan Nielsen and the defensive line coaches are doing a fabulous job. So let's not forget our coaches too, because we got to really play when they're turning up like they're on fields because they're getting good instruction. And we got to give credit to where credit's due at the genesis of the whole process to our coaches. I'll be honest, Myra Edwards don't do it for me. That's what Crass said. Maybe that's why I keep forgetting his name. Donovan says me either. Demi says Q haven't our rookies started their training camp yet. They're in camp yet. Nothing been, they're not reporting on anything right now on it, but I know some of them report to camp and they get their gear and they get situated. Then the big guys come to camp and then it all starts to work in effect. So you got the rookies are supposed to be in there. They reported on the 18th. So they're getting them all situated and everything in there now. So they're in there, but the practices is not going to start until a little later. But that's to answer your question there, Demi. Oh, Crass got it. Okay. Crass answered it. Okay. Thank you, Crass, for doing that. Big ups to you, Troy. Thank you, sir, for your donation. In California, tell Saints receivers when they hit early, helmet, stay down. Refs will call it. Thank you, Troy. Thank you for your donation, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Donovan says, because I'm not all confident in what we'll bring to the field. Okay. Crash saying hit the thumbs up, fam. Hit the thumbs up, fam, if you're in the building. If you haven't done so, please hit the thumbs up button. It helps spreads our content to other great Saints family like yourself to come in and join the conversation as our family grows even bigger. And also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified for future shows. As the Saints season starting to kick up, we have more reports that we're going to be churning out as well. So Christ said, I hope Ken Crawley gave his notice on his condo. He's about to be out of here. PJ is good against the run, but suspect against the pass. What good is that? You might as well turn him into a cornerback, man. I mean, to a linebacker. How you a cornerback but suspect on against the pass? You know what I mean, Crass? You know what I'm saying, School? How you a cornerback? That's your job is to defend the ball, to get the ball from the other guy, and you suspect against it. How you that bad? I don't remember him being that bad. He went up and then went down. Ken Crawley went up and it was a fastest spiral up and then down I've seen in a while. Because he was doing well. He went whoop in flames. Like something shot it. And he just came on down, burning down. Like, damn. Saints still gave him $2 million and still on the team. But I said, I like Kevon Webster. I like the Kevon Webster move, to be quite honest with your family. All right, fam. Let's get back into the story. We're gonna talk about it. We just mentioned Patrick Robinson. The other two guys to look out for is wide receiver Cameron Meredith. What you mean look out for? What you mean look out for? Or to look out for him, you got to be on the field. I don't need to look out for somebody sit up in the training, rehabbing all the time. This turned out to be a very bad signing for the Saints. At the onset when they picked him up, wasn't so much so bad, but Cameron Meredith has really been like a running gag in the Saints organization. Around the Saints fields and Saints forms and everything like that. There, people just don't have any confidence in Cameron Meredith. He appeared in just 6 games for the Saints last year. Never fully recovered from that ACL that he suffered in the preseason of 2017. He's 26 years old. He had his knee scoped in the offseason, and he was held out of the OTAs and the minicamp. Now, he was on the sideline running on the treadmill and doing a little light work. But the Saints are taking their plan with kid clubs with Cameron Meredith, but he needs to stay on the field. And that's why I keep saying to y'all that if you know what we know about it, Rashard Matthews is the man. I mean, Rashard Matthews is going to be the man. He's going to be, because Cameron Meredith is not healthy. He's not healthy. and they saying that he's supposed to be good to go for training camp. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I believe it when I see it with Cameron Meredith because I've heard that before. And the only thing Cameron Meredith is did since he's been here is let us down. That's pretty much and been non-productive. That's pretty much all it's been. And then the final person they mentioned is Teddy Bridgewater. And I had this conversation with some old family members about the Saints dealing with Teddy Bridgewater. And I said Teddy Bridgewater at the onset was a good pickup for the Saints because of what he brings. But let's not get it twisted. You listen to the old shows of me saying that. I clearly stipulated Minnesota Teddy Bridgewater. If we can get Minnesota Teddy Bridgewater, this is a good move. If not, this is not a good move. I don't want scared conservative Teddy Bridgewater. I want Minnesota Viking Teddy Bridgewater. And what I've been seeing from Teddy Bridgewater dealing with the Carolina game and these different the OTAs and minicamp has not been inspiring. And I go back to Luke McCown. I go back to certain quarterbacks that look good in the Saints friendly system. But you got a guy with the IQ of Teddy Bridgewater who don't look comfortable. Like that he looked absolutely terrible in that Carolina game. He was miserable in that freaking game. You know? And in mini camps, 4 of 7, 5 of 10, 5 of 9. What is that? 4 of 8, 5 of 9. Minicamp, when Drew was out there trying to get his money back from that shyster that took his money because he was buying diamonds too high, and Bridgewater had an opportunity to play an extended period of time. You know what Teddy Bridgewater did? Diddly squat. 5 of 9 and 4 of 10. I was like, what? What? How could you be that bad? You've been here for a year. You've set, come on, you Teddy Bridgewater. You supposed to. That's just my thinking. Let's see what the article says about old Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy B. It says, he came over from the Jets in 2018. The Saints picked him up with a trade last year. And the biggest sample of his abilities was seen in the final game of the regular season when he was 14 of 22 for 118 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Very lackluster game. Did he look like Drew Brees' apparent heir apparent? To me, I say no. The guy concurs with and I'm pretty sure most of y'all say no. Some of y'all say yes. I know you got some Teddy B guys here. And they're saying number one seed, we're resting some starters, especially along the line. This year's camps and preseason norms will give us a better idea if Bridgewater could be the future. If we do know that he may have the best dance moves on the team right now. Yeah, that might be the case, but that don't win you no damn games. So, I mean, we looking at it, family. I'm not too certain about that. That's a few of the list of the guys that they recommend you need to pay attention to. Teddy Bridgewater, Cameron Meredith, Patrick Robinson, DeMarcus Davenport, and Eric McCoy. Very interesting. All right, let's get somebody before we get to our final news item that I want to go over, which is former Saints defensive back Kareem Moore. We're going to go over that one because I want to touch on that with y'all. But let's hit some of these comments first before we do. Jason says Crawley's going to be going after the first wave of cuts. Crash says PJ Williams is last year in the Big Easy. Crash said, I want the best 53. We got to get back to the bowl, fellas. Big ups to that. Dada says they didn't mention Webster or Matthews, Big Q. They don't know. They probably on the team. Big bro, they don't know what we do. That's true. Thank you, Crash. They didn't mention them. And it's crazy because ESPN did it. They did it. And several other media outlets just keep forgetting that Rashard Matthews and Kevon Webster were basically signed within a mirror of each other, a window of each other, or solid vet. You talking about Kevon Webster's not just some undrafted guy that don't know anything. He's an 8-year veteran with a Super Bowl ring who had knee and leg issues last year with the Houston Texans, and he's totally healthy now. He was in a starting capacity with Houston last year, and that guy's your fourth cornerback. That's a perfect spot for him because you want a guy that's like having 2 Patrick Robinsons out there. Those are 2 veteran defensive backs behind Marshawn Lattimore and Eli Apple. I mean, you talking about, I'm just really happy with that, versus PJ Williams or Ken Crawley. Take it. You got PJ who can't cover a bed. You got Ken Crawley who can't cover at all. He just holds the guys all the time. He holding the guy before the ball thrown. No confidence, man. Come on. XJ900, that was Daryl says. Ken Crawley, Kalito said Ken Crawley gone, bye-bye. Jason says Crawley going after first wave. Uh, let's see. Crass said, hey, Jason, they changed the format on cuss. We'll go from 90 down to 53 at one time. Yeah, they did do that. They did do that. But every now and again, fam, the Saints, every now and again, I've known the Saints to release certain players, even though they don't have to hold them, to release them. But they do release them, like a few players they know they're not going to make them. They just release them so they can have a chance with another team. So I've seen that happen as well. Crass. Jason, we gonna win our second Miami Super Bowl this year. Crass, book it. I like it. I like it, Jason. Edward said, "What do you think about Malcolm Brown?" Malcolm Brown's awesome to me, bro. I mean, he's a guy. He's an upgrade, and I've said this before on the prior shows. He's a major upgrade over the traitorous one. Oh man, he's a. I mean, I can't believe he went to. I won't even mention his name. He went to Atlanta. But he's a major upgrade over that guy. I mean, he's a former first round draft pick coming off a Super Bowl with the New England Patriots, incredibly productive over his career. Um, he's in the prime of his career, young guy. I actually love it because he's a big. I ain't gonna say he's a nose tackle. He's more of what they would call a defensive tackle, a balanced guy that can play the run and can provide a push inside the interior line to make it uncomfortable for quarterbacks in their face. Malcolm Brown is a huge addition for the Saints. A lot of people not talking about that. But I'm telling you, when Sheldon Rankins comes back and Malcolm Brown are paired together, and you see Davenport, Cam Jordan, Brown, and Rankins together, you're gonna see some terrible stuff there. When you finally get them all together, you're gonna see how fierce this defense can be. You're gonna really see how bad this defense is, really how good they are. How they're gonna be just tearing up people. Malcolm Brown is a huge addition, and the Saints have not had a guy like him. And sometimes, and he had Nick Fairley when he was there. He was actually pretty good in that capacity. But Sheldon Rankins and Malcolm Brown, oh my goodness, man. You ain't gonna be able to run on the Saints. Saints were fourth against the run last year. Imagine what they're gonna be this year. You're gonna be the top team in the league against the run. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing with them. Plus, he gonna keep the offensive lineman off of Demario Davis so he can go sideline to side. It's going down. It's going down in a major capacity. I don't say Ken Crawley a part of the staff. This dude can't play, bro. I know he can't play, Ronald. I know he kind of. I know. He said Brown is a dog. He's a key free agent pickup. That's what Crass say. Dada says Crowley's getting cut this year. Crass said Q, I joined late. Not sure if you touched on Darren Sproles. I see you resigned with Eagles. Yeah, I touched on it early, bro. Touched on it and said he made his decision. I remember I was following something that said that before camp started, he was going to make this decision where he was going to go, either the Saints, the Eagles, or the Chargers, and ultimately he decided to go with the Eagles. So big ups to Sproles, for what he doing. He go back to the Eagles. We're gonna get this bowl. Don't worry, fellas. Doesn't appear that Meredith needs right or will ever be right. It is unfortunate. That's right, Crash. That's why I said Rashard Matthews. And you know how you know that? That's the truth because guess what? I didn't sign. I keep saying this. I ain't signed Rashard Matthews. I ain't giving what was it, 900,000, 800 something $1,000 was $890,000. I think his contract was for 1 year. We reported on. I wasn't the one that signed him. The Saints was, and he plays the slot position. He ain't signed him to take Ted Ginn Jr.'s job. He signed him to be the slot man. And guess who this current slot man is supposed to be? Cameron Meredith. So, I mean, Cameron Meredith is in trouble in my book, man. Big trouble. Jason says, Yo, Q, what do you think about the NFL going to 18 regular and 2 preseason games? I like. Yes, please. More football, baby. But you're going to have to adjust the roster because it's currently 53. Some people wanted to go up maybe 63. Add 10 more players to adjust for a brutal schedule, which they got to do some retweaking. But the NFL's been pushing this. They dropped it out and they incrementalists. They don't just drop it on top of you. They test it and then they kind of march it ahead. That's how they do it. And what the NFL been pushing the 18-game regular season, they're going to get it. What the NFL wants, they're going to get. And the players don't like it, but guess what the players are going to do? They're gonna ultimately say, okay, well, if you want to just pay me some more money. And guess who got a lot of money? NFL. So the NFL is going to definitely make this a reality. They're just incrementally you're introducing it to you, so you get accustomed to hearing it, and then ultimately you start seeing them voting on it and all this kind of stuff. And besides, the preseason games, man, are a waste of time. A lot of preseason games, you don't see nothing. You're playing like, for instance, with the New Orleans Saints, you can say, "Well, Q, how are we going to look at our talent? How are we going to evaluate our talent and evaluate them like college do, like the college people do it?" College don't have preseason. College got they use their practices and scrimmages, and that's how they get their talent together. And I know it's a little bit different, but the pro game is monitor is basically a spinoff of the college game. The college football been here a lot longer than professional ball. College ball here was in the 1800s, uh, almost 100 years, more than 100 years before the NFL. I mean, began to kick off and became a professional league. Colleges were here long before pro leagues were, and it's a spinoff of the system. And I'm saying if they want 18 games and two preseason, I'm sick of the preseason. To be honest with you, they could take half of it right now. Take it, but it's just like you saying, the players have got to be the ones that step up and say, okay, well, we want this, but it's got to be, you got to have to up the rosters, which they'll up the rosters maybe 10 spots. And so it won't be 53, it'll be 63 or something to that degree. But ultimately, whatever the NFL wants, they're going to get. And it's more money if you take 2 games away from preseason and put it into the regular season. So, I mean, that's my thinking on it. But I'm a football man, and I want to see more of my Saints. But it's a way to make it happen, and I think they ultimately gonna make it happen. JC XFL coming soon. 95J Teddy ain't ready. He been spooked since that freaking bro. Man, thank you. You're a smart man, Jay. Because I was having this discussion with another friend of mine. It's like, man, Teddy Bridgewater, yeah, he don't look right. He don't look right. You watch the footage, he doesn't look right. The Carolina game was like this. Then you watch the scrimmages, the OTAs, and all that. I'm not saying he can't get better, but he like people falling around his leg. He real paranoid. Remember, this was a brutal injury because he really wasn't supposed to ever play football again. The technology got we so spectacular with the technology nowadays. But the thing was, he was never supposed to play football again. And he might be physically healthy, but psychologically speaking, might be an issue. It is an issue because he's not the same guy I remember playing in Minnesota. That's for certain. It's not the same dude. Not the same dude. Anyway, Donovan says, Jason, there is a lot to consider when going to 18 games. Will players be compensated too? No, they definitely gonna get their money, baby. Should they go from 53 to 63? That's definitely what I was saying too. I don't like sitting 2 games per season. They're gonna make it happen, Donovan. What the NFL want, they're gonna get. They've been pushing this 18 game thing, taken away from the preseason because they make more money with those 2 games than what you doing in preseason games. Half the fans don't show up. There's no star talent out there. And it's just what it is. So I mean, I don't see why the NFL's they're gonna do whatever it takes to appease the players. They're gonna give them the money and they're gonna up the roster spots. That's 2 of your major blockages right there for 18 game season. So once they do away with that, I think they don't have no problem upping the roster to compensate for that. So the NFL going to eventually get that 18 game schedule. Jason, I'm telling y'all need to give Hill a shot too, and not just sketchy Teddy. You know what? We talked about that. And Taysom Hill. A lot of people not respecting Taysom Hill because he's the gadget guy, as they call him. He's the gadget guy, and no coach in his right mind would use his quarterback in that capacity, um, on special teams and returning kicks and punts. But you know, you gotta look at it. He's a third guy on a roster, and they looking at Teddy Bridgewater because of experience. And I think Sean Payton believes in Teddy Bridgewater. I'm not saying that he can't get any better, for psychologically speaking. Teddy got all the tools, but this thing with him and this injury, I don't know if he can get over that. That's the thing. He looked terrible, and these camps been unimpressive. I'm not impressed with what I've seen from Teddy Bridgewater. I'm not going to tell you no different. Donovan says if they increase the roster and players are playing less snaps, it might work. Players around the league not feeling this at this point. That's true. They're not feeling it. But whose league is it? Is it a players' league or the owners' league? If it was the players' league, we wouldn't have Roger Goodell sitting his ass up there making 30 something $million a year. So I think whatever they want, they're gonna ultimately get. And I think that probably what's gonna end up happening, Donovan. Dada says Rankins can rush the passer. Also, Brown. You can't run, and he can play one gap or two gap. Wouldn't fool me. We could play a little three or four with Brown, 3-4 as Brown as nose tackle, Cam Rankins, or number three off the edge. Yeah, you know what? He's a. If you watch the footage on him, um, playing it, he's a guy that can, like you say, he can play both of those gaps. But what he does give, he could play in a 4-3 scheme too, because and I think he'll benefit more in that 4-3 scheme because he can push the pocket. He's not a pass rusher in. You know what I'm saying? He's a stout end that can hold up at the point of attack and just mess up that lane so running backs can get there. That's what Brown does really well. And he's strong enough to provide just the push in the pocket to make it uncomfortable for the quarterback. If you watch the footage, and that's what he's really good at. And that's why I think they got him. He's a guy that can provide. Plus, he's a major upgrade over the traitorous one that went to Atlanta. So I see where you're going with that. What up, Marty? Marty in the building. D says, I hope Matthews can stay healthy. Yeah, that's a big thing. But we loaded at the wide receiver room. We got a lot of slot receivers that we could look at, as well. But Rashard Matthews, man, it should to me, I think will be a major help. And I think if anything, Cameron Meredith is like I said, he's already out. That's a done deal unless something miraculous happens. But he hadn't showed us diddly squat this entire duration. I think the Saints are finally, when they brought Rashard Matthews in here, it wasn't like they brought Chad Jansen in here to be a guy, a camp body. Rashard Matthews is not a camp body. Rashard Matthews is looking to take somebody's position. You're not just some guy to bring in for camp depth. I've heard somebody told me, and I was like, that's not true, man. Rashard Matthews is a 7 or 8 year receiver, a veteran. He's not no camp body guy. He's coming in here against, and his major competition for the slot is Cameron Meredith, who's constantly injured. But I expect Rashard Matthews to be fine moving ahead that day. Jason says Hill would have won that week 17. Yeah, he would have. And I was screaming to the top of my lungs for him to put him in there. They just didn't. I guess they wanted to see what Bridgewater could do, which was absolutely diddly squat. Got some good QBs coming out. Who knows? We want to get hold to any good ones. If we want a Super Bowl, we're gonna be at the bottom of the draft. So we're not gonna be able to get none of them guys like Herbert and Tua and the other guy. But anyway, let's get to this final story, fam. On the Sports Coma, NFL suspended safety Kareem Moore after arrest over alleged domestic violence incident. Now, this is the reason why I'm bringing this to y'all, family, is because this is our former defensive back, Kareem Moore. Y'all remember him? We drafted him a few seasons ago. Him and the other gentleman, two cornerbacks, who both one was out of Wisconsin, who was supposed to be a good kick returner, but he was selected out of Boston College in the 6th round in 2018. The Saints released him and the other fella. I forgot the other fella's name. But it's like threw me for a loop, like, what the hell is going on here? Now, let me give you a little the rundown on it. The Giants suspended Kareem Moore as a result of an alleged domestic violence related incident on Monday. Now, he was arrested over the weekend in New Jersey, and he was suspended pending further investigation, according to the team. Now, what happened with him is there was a domestic situation where he was it was something dealing with a young woman. Let me see if I can pull up the whole report and read it to y'all, because I was like, what the hell is going on here? And the man was just I don't know, he was tripping. He was tripping. But let's see if I can get it here. He's under suspension. Let's see if I can get the whole story here for y'all, because y'all, it was strange, man. Very strange. Let's see here. This is from the New York Post, y'all. Dealing with Kareem Moore as he was arrested. Now, this is the headline for the New York Post article. It's called Giants Kareem Moore arrested for punching woman unconscious. He went way beyond what Junior Gillette did. It said New York Giants player Cam Moore cold-cocked a paramour and stepped on her neck so hard it left bruises during a love triangle brawl outside his home on Thursday. Giant safety Moore was arrested over the weekend in New Jersey for an alleged domestic violence related incident. Moore has been suspended. The victim, identified in the criminal complaint as HP, had been seeing him since January and decided to drop by his house Thursday after he did not respond to her text messages. But when she got there, there was another woman there, identified by Moore's lawyer as his girlfriend, quote unquote, came out to confront her, and the pair began fighting, according to the criminal complaint filed in Linden City Municipal Court. Now, Moore, 22, first watched the women while they assaulted each other. So he just stood back and just let them scrap at each other. But then when his gal pal, his girlfriend, fell to the ground, they said the 200-pound safety placed his foot on her neck and applied pressure. She managed to free herself, then shoved Moore for choking her, and that's when he cold cocked her on the left side of her face. That's what the papers allege. Now, a friend to HP to the Rahway Hospital, where she was treated for bruises and abrasions on her face and neck. Moore was charged with aggravated assault as a domestic violence incident, the court papers say. He was released by presiding Judge Cuba following the court appearance on Monday, and his attorneys claimed that HP fabricated the entire incident. Now, the claimant in this matter showed up unannounced and unsolicited at Moore's home to begin an altercation with Moore's girlfriend and invented these accusations. He will be fully cleared of all charges to call it to his thing. And the players rep, Eugene, added, "We remain confident that when the truth is revealed, Mr. Moore will be exonerated and vindicated completely of these baseless charges." So I'm bringing this before y'all, family, because that's crazy, man. What the hell is wrong with you, man? I don't know, family. I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's going on, man. That's totally the wrong way to handle things. I mean, but decisions, right, family? Decisions, decisions, decisions. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I don't know, family. But anyway, that's some of the articles that we presented out to the family today. Uh, and like I said, I like to thank y'all for joining us here on the Sports Coma today. We almost hitting our 2 hour mark. If you had any more questions, concerns, or comments, please post them. Our chat our live number is 504-427-4482. And that is our call-in number, as we have about 5 minutes left to go before we check out. And like I said, if you on the show and you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button, the notification button, and subscribe if you already aren't a subscriber for more content coming ahead. But family, this is the Saints this year, man. I'm looking forward to the camp coming up, and it's going to actually be really excellent. A lot of people, the guys are healthy, except for Emmanuel Butler. I wanted to see what Emmanuel Butler could do, but too bad that he's not going to be available um, in the upcoming. Well, we don't know how long it'll be, but he's on the list. But more than likely, it probably won't be in the near future. That he's placed on the non-football injury. We'll know more as time will tell as well. So it's be interesting to see. But there's a lot of good battles in camp. We're looking at the offensive line battles and see what they can do. The wide receiver, of course, Cameron Meredith and Rashard Matthews is an excellent battle to watch if he's healthy. Cameron Meredith, that is. Then you're looking at the fact that Larry Warford, what's going on with Larry Warford here? That's the things that we're not talking about. Larry Warford is hurt. Is he hurt too bad? Is Nick Easton going to play at Larry Warford's position like he did during minicamp and in OTAs? You know, then you look at the defensive side of the ball. I got those secondary battles with the third and fourth and fifth defensive backs. Where does Chauncey Gardner-Johnson fit in the matrix? Is he good enough to beat out Von Bell for the position? I don't know about that, but they have some interesting thing. The third pass rusher is a glaring hold that needs to be filled, if you know on it. So maybe the Saints will get it done between now and camp time. So a lot of great things to be looking forward to as it's getting closer and closer and closer and closer, y'all. So we getting ready for some black and gold football. And also to let you guys know, as well is that the sports coma we'll be having contests where we'll be issuing out Saints gear. We'll have our own brand of Saints gear and memorabilia, hats, and the likes that we'll be having merch that'll be coming real soon. We also have contests we'll be dialing out as well, where you can enter in contests to win PlayStation consoles. We'll be doing that 3 or 4 months straight. We'll be having giving out PlayStation 4 consoles for people who are part of our contest that we'll be doing for the Black and Gold. So that's be coming up. That's exciting. We're getting ready to kick that off as well, and a lot of other things. So just be on the lookout for that, fam. We'll have some promotional material that's why I tell you hit your notification button to make sure that you'll be notified of when that will be coming out soon as well, because that's so I know most of you guys want to take advantage of that. Who doesn't? Um, Thank you, 2D. Thank you for listening. Thank all my family for being on the live stream. Donovan said, my final question is, what is our projected win total this season? I'm thinking 12-4 and winning the NFC South. I got to get with you on that, bro. Remember they're 13-3 last year. Now, did we get better or worse than last year? And then another question is, did our competition get better or worse? We basically bringing back. We changing up. We have McCoy to replace Unger, and I don't think you lose off. It's no drop off there. I think McCoy will hold his own. Offensively speaking, we lose Ingram. So what role Latavius Murray played? Even though I think Sean Payton's looking at having Elvin Kamara more in a featured role, they're gonna really want to see what this guy gonna do. And I think that kind of gave they don't want to really pair him no more like that, like what they were doing with Ingram, because it might have been kind of slowing. But the Saints want to really see what Elvin Kamara can do as a feature back. That's the talk. That's some things that Sean Payton kind of gave away on various interviews that we played over the show from the last 2 months or so. Is that he wants to see what Elvin Kamara, that's the term, I want to see what he can do and such all this kind of stuff. So it's more of a future back. But Latavius Murray, no doubt about it, is going to be the red zone guy, that battering ram. But you're looking at the wide receivers. Ted again is healthy. Finally, you've got Mike Thomas, who's going to be what he usually be. Yeah, a decent slot man, Rashard Matthews. The tight end position is better than it's been since Jimmy Graham's been here. I mean, you can't get any better than the Saints tight end position. We've been basically settling for tight ends. I mean, Ben Watson, no disrespect, but man, Jared Cook is the best tight end we had here since Jimmy Graham was here. And that's big because we count on our tight end big time now here. So you got Mike Thomas, Ted Gins healthy. You got Rashard Matthews running around. You got the offensive line will be sturdy. And then you got Jared Cook. So, I mean, we were 13-3 last year with Ben Watson as a tight end and really tight end by committee approach with him and Josh Hill running around out there. So I would, 12-4 sounds good to me, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints went 13-3 again either, even though they're saying that we got an easy schedule, which I don't think we got a pretty difficult schedule. But I would not be surprised 12-4, even if we go 13-3 again. I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be surprised by that either because of the level of of talent this team has. Jared Cook is going to be astronomical in the Saints offense. He's going to be astronomical. Not to mention the defense, the upgrades on the defense, Malcolm Brown in the interior with Sheldon Rankins when they get healthy, a healthy Davenport, a healthy linebacking core, the depth in the secondary, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the fact that the Saints fired all of the special teams coordinators from yesteryear and bring in Dan Rizzi and his entire staff to rework and Rizzi is one of the top best special teams coaches in the league. The Saints want kick return and punt return at the top of the position. So Deontay Harris and Marcus Shrells has been brought in to help solidify the position. Notice the Saints now, they've solved the kicker. They always had the punter for some time now, and now they're focusing, not to mention Taysom Hill is in the special teams room as well, doing his stuff. Then you got to look at the fact that the Saints are saying, finally, you know what? We done fixed all that. Now we got to fix the kick returner. We need kick returners that can get us good field position so our offense can be set up on a short field, and that helps. That just keeps makes everything flow better. So Let's see how that works. I wouldn't be surprised. 12-4 sounds good, but I wouldn't be surprised it would be 13-3. We have improved significantly over all areas of this team. I'm serious. I'm serious. We got better coaches and special teams. We have more talent. We're a faster team. We're more disciplined team. And then we're a hungrier team. If you notice, the onus has been on the last 2 years of like, how long are you gonna just keep that? You're gonna dangle that piece of chicken out just out front of me, and before I get upset and go. I mean, the Saints are hungry and they've been denied. The Minnesota nightmare, the debacle in the dome. This year it won't be the same. The Saints will not be. They will not be held back, man. You can't do this to us 2 years in a row and don't think we're gonna ascend to another level next year. You put all that together with the fact that Drew's on his last year. We don't know what's gonna happen, and it got kind of it has a Super Bowl of bust feel to it to me. So that's what I'm saying. I think the Saints are going to make the correct moves and make sure things happen. So I like your prediction at 12-4. And I wouldn't be surprised if it be 13-3 with an NFC South title, as well as the top dog in the NFC, by the way. So I'm not surprised. Thanks for that, Donovan. Dada says, "Now I know I want to see Butler as well, Big Q. Yep, I wanted to see what he can do. I was really intrigued by him." Jason says Vegas has OU set at 10.5 wins this year. I'm over that bet. Dada says I'm headed to camp next weekend. Okay, Dada. Yes, that's what's up, Dada. Fill us in and see what goes on, buddy. Send us some pictures or whatnot when you get that. Demi said, "Enjoy your weekend, Q." Thank you, Demi. You enjoy yours too. I hope it ain't raining where you guys are. It's raining where we are. I was gonna try to do my snowball ritual today. I was trying to go out there and take my boys to get snowballs. Like we ain't gonna do it with this rain. And it said Edward said 14-2. Edward, man, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of people say, man, that's too many. I wouldn't be surprised, Edward. The Saints stay healthy and get Sheldon back down line, and however they handle losing Sheldon for them period of the game, at least for that month of the season, and then get some production from their interior line. They go on Yamada back, and the Saints stay healthy. That could be a reality. I said, you just said Donovan just said 12-4. I said it could be 12-4, 13-3 with 13-3 last year. That's just one more game. So man, listen, the way it is, if shaped up the Saints stay healthy, man, we can get this here thing. Donovan said, "Thanks for the show. Great job, Q." Thank you, friend. Thank all of my beautiful Saints family for joining us today on the Sports Coma. I'm sorry that we came to y'all guys like an hour late. That wasn't our fault. That was on YouTube. I'm gonna throw this on YouTube. Couldn't get the apparatus working correctly, but I'm glad we finally stuck with it and we were still able to do our show with our family. So, as always, remember every Saturday at 12 o'clock, we'll be here at the Sports Coma Live. Don't forget, y'all, to join the Sports Coma podcast as well. Remember, we have a podcast that comes on Spreaker.com. I'm punching it in there now, family. Let's see here. Spreaker.com/the sports coma. You can go there, sign up, and you can listen to all the audio podcasts. We have several podcasts. If you're a Pelicans fan, you can join the Pelican Post Game Report on YouTube, as we will start following up a lot of our Pelican content and analysis that we do as well. And there's also all type of really great content there as well. Podcasts that go way back. You can listen to old podcasts us covered previous games from the past season, entire years of 5 years we've been doing. In August the 8th, it'll be 5 years of the Sports Coma. You can go back a great deal and listen to some of our prior shows as well. And like I said, join the Spreaker.com/sports coma. And remember to catch us here every Saturday at 12 o'clock as camp starting to rise, as the temperature starting to rise, family. Also, we also on our giveaway, family, we're gonna also have Madden games too. If you're a gamer and you are guys that love Madden football, we're gonna have Madden game giveaways as well. We'll give you all that information coming up real soon too. So thank you guys for joining us on the Sports Coma. I know it's a lot. Thank you for joining us. We love y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all. Who dat? Share the show with the rest of the fam. Help us out. And thank you guys for that donated. Thank you for donating your hard-earned money to the platform as we use it wisely as we continue to grow the family. I'd like to thank you guys for doing that as well. So just thank you for everything that you do, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here. Thank you. So for me and the crew here at the Sports Coma, thank y'all for joining us. I'm gonna see y'all next Saturday. Who that, baby?